Hi, 5th grade. This is lesson 6-2, estimating the product of a decimal and a whole number. Your learning goal for tonight is to use rounding and compatible numbers to estimate products of whole numbers and decimals, to identify estimates as overestimates or underestimates. Your learning goal for tonight is to use rounding and compatible numbers to estimate the product of a whole number and a decimal. Write your learning goal into your journal, pause the video, and when you are done, go ahead and continue, and we will continue with the lesson for this evening. Alright, no vocabulary for tonight, so we'll get started with our example. So the point of this lesson is that you can use estimating to round to the greatest place value, or you can use compatible numbers, which are numbers close to the actual number and that are easy to multiply, to estimate the products with decimals. So if our answer is either a lot smaller or a lot larger than our actual answer, then we made a mistake with the decimal placement. So this estimating is helping you to figure out if your actual answer by multiplying decimals and whole numbers, the estimating is trying to help you figure out if your actual answer with your decimal placement is correct. So the way you determine that, and the whole reason that we do it, is for decimal placement. So remember, when you're estimating, if your answer is much larger or much smaller than your actual answer, then your decimal placement is probably incorrect. So let's look at this example that I have up here. So when you're looking at rounding, which is estimating to the greatest place value, we have the number 184 times 7/10. So at rounding to the greatest place value, and that is showing you that 184, I have 184 rounded to the greatest place value is 200. Oh, I forgot my decimal in front of my 7. Oh, it's down there. All right. So we're leaving the decimal 7 as is. So 200 times 7/10 is 140. 184, compatible number, we're just going to 180. That's just a number that's easy to multiply. 7/10, we're leaving a 7/10, and that answer is 126. And let me show you why. When you multiply a number by a decimal, let's practice with 200 times 7/10. You multiply as usual, pretending that the decimal point is not there. So let's multiply. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Always look in your regular problem, and you look over here, and to the side, I'm going to put a 1, because there is one number to the right of the decimal point. There are no decimal points in 200, so I'm not going to count those. But in 7/10, there is one number to the right of the decimal. So over here, I'm going to put a 1 in parentheses. It's just going to help me remember that. So that down in my answer, once I'm ready, I'm going to start at the far right of my answer, and I'm going to move that decimal point one place to the left. So then that shows you that my answer is 140, because on all whole numbers, your decimal is to the right. So we take that answer, we move it one place to the left, and your answer is 140. Here, 180 times 7/10. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 8 is 56. I'm going to place my 6 here and carry my 5. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. My 6 disappeared. I have one number to the right of the decimal point. That means I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to move it one place to the left. So I have 126. If I were to multiply 184 and 7/10, I would be able to tell if my estimate was over or under. So I'm going to do that right up here, because it'll be easier for me to do, maybe, if my pen would stay. 7 times 4 is 28. I'm going to put my 8 and carry my 2. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 2 is 58. I put my 8 here and carry my 5. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. I have one number to the right of the decimal point. I'm going to start to the far right of my number. I'm going to move my decimal point one place My actual answer is 128.8. Looking at my numbers, my compatible answer is closest. It is 126. My actual answer is 128.8. My 140 answer is actually over. My compatible number answer is actually under, but it's actually very close to the actual number of 128 and 8/10. So my estimate is under, but it's very close, so it's not very far away. So that's a good estimate. All right, let's do some practice problems. I have 87 hundredths times 412. I want you to do an estimate with compatible numbers on your paper, and then I will multiply it with you. So just do an estimate with compatible numbers on your paper. Pause the video and do that, and then we'll do it together. All right, did you get 360? Let's look at this together. If you do compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to work with. So I would estimate 412 to 400. Then I would take 87 hundredths and I would estimate it to 9/10 because it actually estimates to 90 hundredths, which is the same thing as 9/10. That's much easier to multiply. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 4 is 36. I have one number to the right of the decimal point, so I start at the far right of my number and I move it one place to the left. So 360 is my answer. If I looked at my actual problem and multiplied it, which I don't need you to do this, so we're just going to multiply by the estimate. That's all I'm asking you to do. If I asked you to do this, and I will do this for you, 7 times 2 is 14, carry a 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 7 times 4 is 28. Because I've used this number, I'm going to place a 0 under the 4. 8 times 2 is 16, carry a 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 8 times 4 is 32. I need to add these together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 6 is 14, carry a 1. 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 1 is 18, carry a 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 3. Here I have two numbers to the right of the decimal. That means in my answer I need to move it 2 places to the left. And my answer is 358 and 44 hundredths, which is very close to my estimated answer. Let's do another one. Pause, look at this problem. I want you to pause the video, work the problem out. When you are finished, I want you to start the video and we will do it together. All right. Sorry, I got distracted. My dog is sitting on my lap. All right. Let's look at this problem together. 104 times 33 hundredths. Hopefully for your estimate, you got the answer of 30. Using compatible numbers, you would have estimated 104 to 100. Very simple. 33 hundredths, you could have just estimated to 30 hundredths or simply 3/10, which is the exact same number. So when you multiply these, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 1 is 3. There is one number to the right, so I'm going to put that number over here because it helps me remember how many places I need to move my decimal point. Start on my far right of my number, one number to the left, and my answer is 30. If I actually looked at the actual multiplication of 104 and 33 hundredths, 3 times 4 is 12, carry a 1, 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. I'm done with the number in the ones column, so I'm going to place a 0 here. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry a 1. 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 plus nothing is 3. There are 2 numbers to the right of my decimal point. So in my answer starting on the far right, I'm going to go 1, 2 places to the left. And my answer is 34 and 32 hundredths. And when we're talking about estimating, 34 estimates to 30. So you are very close to your estimate. Let's do one other practice problem. 9 2 hundredths times 80. Do an estimate for me, pause the video, and then when you start again, I will do the problem with you. All right, 9 2 hundredths times 80. Did you write 720? Let's look at how we can do that together. If you estimate this, you would simply estimate this to 9, and then you would estimate 9 times 80. Very simple. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 8 is 72, and you would have had 720. If you did the actual problem of 9 2 hundredths times 80, you can, if you want to, ignore this 0. And the way I would do this, remember we've talked about before moving the 0 over, saving it in a box till later, and then just multiplying by the 8. 8 times 2 is 16, carry a 1. 8 times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, and 8 times 9 is 72. We saved the 0 for later, so now we add it into our answer. There are 2 numbers to the right of the decimal, so in our answer we need to move it 1, 2 places to the left. Our actual answer is 721 and 60 hundredths or 60 tenths. So our actual answer and our estimate are very, very close. Our estimate was just slightly under. All right, let's look at our word problem for tonight. I need a drink, excuse me. All right, how much money would have to be spent on 18 pounds of cheese if the price is $3.95 per pound? Pause the video, work the problem out, and start the video again. Did you write $71.10? Let's see how we could have solved this together. All right, 18 can easily estimate to 20, and $3.95 a pound can estimate to $4 a pound. So an estimate could be $80. Now, if you actually work the problem out, you could also estimate it 18 and 4 if you wanted just to simply do compatible numbers. And if that were the case, 8 times 4 is 32. You would put a 2, carry a 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Which of these estimates is closer? 72 is definitely the estimate that is much closer than the actual answer of $71.10. So when you're looking at your estimates, you want to think about which estimate makes sense, which one is closer to the actual answer. So think about over and under, and then decide which one makes the most sense. All right, your challenge problem. Dentalia shells were used by some Native American tribes to make jewelry. Each dentalia shell is $1.25, no, it's not a dollar, 1 25 hundredths inches long. That's 1 1/4. If a necklace had been made with 18 dentalia shells, remember we're estimating, about how long was the necklace? Explain your estimate. Show all your work in your journal and explain your answer. Come back to school ready to check your answer. All right, do that work. Make sure that you do that work in your journal tonight. Review your learning goals. Do you have them written in your journal? Do you have the practice problems all written in your journal and the challenge problem written in your journal? You've now completed lesson 6-2. Enjoy your evening. See you guys in the morning.